Welcome to an exclusive interview. Shri Milind Barambe Sahab, Joint Commissioner, Mumbai Traffic Police. Please tell us about your school, college days, where you born and brought up.
I was born and brought up in Nagpur.
Okay.
All my schooling and college were done in Nagpur. From Somalwar High School and then Lakshmi Narayan Institute of Technology, where I did my BTech in chemical engineering.
Okay, in Nagpur itself. Then later.
After that, I appeared for UPSC Civil Services and got selected in this.
Okay. What's your date of birth, sir?
15/11/71.
And which batch you have got the?
I'm 1997 batch.
Did you always wanted to become an IPS officer?
Yeah, I had a liking for administrative services. So after engineering, I appeared for the civil services exam. And according to the ranking, I got IPS.
Kindly elaborate on your achievements so far in various postings from Thane and Mumbai.
Yeah, I was ASP, which is our first posting, Assistant Superintendent of Police in Ichalkaranji, Kolhapur,
Okay.
from 99 to 2001.
Okay.
I handled quite a few communal situations and caste conflicts in Kolhapur. So that was a good tenure from the perspective that I was not married, I was bachelor, and it was a huge jurisdiction. Almost half of Kolhapur district was under my jurisdiction. So it was like a very heavy duty running from one place to another with visits and visitations. It was like almost like breakfast at one place, lunch and dinner at other places.
Okay.
And being bachelor, I explored the district also, so it was a good experience in Ichalkaranji. Thereafter, I was additional SP and SP in the Naxal affected district of Gondia.
Okay.
So from 2001 to 2004. That was also a very good experience because that was a different kind of challenge. And being additional SP, I actually explored the jungle areas and the villages along with my staff. So that was a very good time to build camaraderie with my staff. And I realized there was when I realized that if you care for your staff can do anything for you. So that was very good. So a lot of welfare measures, welfare activities were undertaken in Gondia district. We were very proud as a team that we constructed quite a few police stations and outposts, armed outposts as they are called there, which were so fortified and almost every 4 or 5 kilometers there was either an outpost or a police station.
Okay.
So that was a good area domination strategy that we adopted to keep the Naxals away from the district. Thereafter, I was Superintendent of Police in Sangli district from 2004 to 2007, which was a very politically heavy district with 3-4 ministers, very senior ministers from Congress and the NCP ruling alliance there, and it was a politically very tough district. Despite that, in all the 3 years, there was not a single incident which is worth mentioning, which actually spiraled up to a major level. So all the issues could be kept, or they were nipped in the bud by our team. And the best part of the Sangli police team, the then Sangli police team, was we got all the police stations and SP office ISO certified.
Oh,
That was the first and only district in the country where all the police stations and SP office were ISO certified.
instantly.
Yes, so that was one of the biggest achievements of our team there, wherein very many political executives and outsider experts, they visited the district just to see how the police team actually achieved this gigantic
Entire,
task. And that then it was replicated in the Zilla Parishads and other places also. That was a governmental decision thereafter. So that was a very satisfying experience. Tried to give good services to the people. Our processes were improved, and law and order and crime was definitely under control. Not a single major incident.
At the time of working in the Sangli Superintendent of Police, did you come sometimes under pressure in any case, political pressure?
That was in the first 2-3 months where people tried to exert their influence as it was very colloquially known as a politically heavy district. Everyone used to have connections right at the top. But after 2-3 months, when people started understanding what kind of SP I am, then the political pressure almost got nil, and the rest of my tenure was very peaceful. In fact, we could, despite all the political polarizations, we could build such a team of police officers and staff with the support of people that these achievements of ISO were possible. Thereafter, I was actually handpicked as AIG Planning and Coordination and Dakshata Police Magazine in DG office to replicate that experiment in the rest of the state. We tried to replicate, but there were definitely some shortcomings. There, as AIG PNC, a direct officer of SP rank serving in DG office, I really got exposed to very many things at the state level. So the horizon actually broadened. I made the best of my efforts to understand things at a macro level. So that itself was another good exposure, good satisfying experience. Immediately I was posted in Mumbai city. For 2 years I was working as DCP, Deputy Commissioner of Police of Zone 5. So Zone 5 was like Dadar, Shivaji Park, Mahim, Dharavi, Kurla, that area. It was quite challenging, especially after the division of Shiv Sena and creation of MNS out of that. So the political equation was very fluid. They had their strongholds. In fact, they continue to have their strongholds in Dadar, Shiv Sena, Mahim area. And it was quite challenging in view of the legislative assembly elections.
Okay.
So elections was a very tough job, where there were so many riots just preceding my taking over. But incidentally, the 2 years were very peaceful politically, though there were situations, there were tough situations, but nothing snowballed out of hands. So again, it was a good team effort by our staff and officers in that area, and we had very good equations, but neutral, impartial equations with all the political parties there, because Shiv Sena has Sena Bhavan, its headquarters, MNS has Rajgarh, its headquarters, all in, then Congress has Tilak Bhavan, all in the same area. So, and then security wise, there was Siddhivinayak Mandir, which was the topmost vulnerable iconic institution. Then there was Mahim Church, and then the Shivaji Park, and the Chowpatty, and the this Mahaparinirvan then used to be part of that area. So all this, there were very huge activities round the year going on in that area, and it was then that 26/11 happened. So I was DCP Zone 5.
Okay.
Though I was not called, I volunteered to go to Kama Hospital and Taj thereafter, and could do my bit of part, whatever best I could do. So, but that of course, going there voluntarily gave me more satisfaction, because one thing is when you are called for duty and you perform, that is one thing, but when you are not called and you understand that it was your call of duty and you attended it, so that was a satisfying experience for me. Thereafter, I was posted as a Superintendent of Police of Nasik Rural District.
Oh, I see.
So in Nasik Rural District also, there were quite a few challenges. A huge district otherwise, though politically not very fluid, but it was a huge district, had its own problems, had its tribal problems and onion problems, so many other issues. But the stint again was very peaceful. We shifted our headquarters from Nasik city into a little peripheral area of Adgaon, where the whole new SP office was constructed, but there was some reluctance to shift. But once we shifted, and when we the whole office was redone properly. So that was again a different experience of creating a new headquarter and making people settle there and trying to give better services to the people. Thereafter, the crime of Thane Commissionerate. Thane Commissionerate is quite a mix of rural and urban areas. Crime-wise, it is colloquially said that all the Tadipars of Mumbai, they reside in Thane. So, heading the crime department, crime branch of Thane Commissionerate was itself a challenge from that perspective. And there has been a mushrooming of the real estate in that area, Thane and beyond. So Thane, Kalyan, Bhiwandi, right up to Badlapur, Ambernath, Ulhasnagar, everywhere there is mushrooming of all these real estate business. So the crime was also like that, extortions and other things. Incidentally, there were a few threat calls, but nothing materialized. There was not a single incident of extortion call getting materialized into any crime. So there were threats, but they were immediately acted upon, and that way also there was a good joint effort by the crime team there. And especially the chain snatchers, which are believed to be exported from Thane Commissionerate, there also the detection was fairly high. It was more than 50% of the chain snatching cases were detected by the crime branch of Thane. A couple of other big achievements were there, which I would not want to mention here, but there were quite a few good achievements from the crime perspective, which were in the Thane Commissionerate.
Under the division, there was some state level program also for
Yes,
the police.
yes. So there basically first we transformed the control room in our CP office. It was made a modern control room. So a kind of which is the first response to any citizen. Any citizen in distress normally calls 100 number, and so the response mechanism was built up in the control room. So that was a good modern integrated control room that we developed in the Commissionerate building. Yeah. And the second stage was the shifting of the building itself. Our team was instrumental, led by the then Commissioner of Police, Mr. K.P. Raghuvanshi. we shifted to a new building, and again the same process of building the infrastructure in the building started. A very big achievement. A very big achievement of that team was creation of or reclamation of Saket ground. Saket ground was a huge property of ours which was completely unattended, and it was completely reclaimed, and it was done, and it was taken to a height where we could conduct our MSPG, our state Maharashtra State Police Games at only one venue in Thane. So housing was done at one place, and all the games, all the disciplines were conducted at the same ground of Saket. So it actually became a Saket Police Krida Sankul. So that was another big achievement there. Thereafter, I got shifted to additional CP of West Region, Mumbai, which is considered to be a very high-profile position in terms of the gentry that is staying there, the class of citizenry that is staying there. It includes the very high profile and some slums as well. So it is actually a challenge, a mixed challenge of different sorts where there were so many white collar crimes, there were so many high profile cases, what do you say, the VIP culture, the celebrity culture, wherein from the IPC rating, even if it is low, the scale of crime, even if it is low, it gets blown out of proportion, and the whole media is attending to that. So it was a very touch and go situation when I was in West Region, where we conducted both the elections, the assembly elections as well as the parliamentary elections. All were peaceful. We had lot many things to do. We conducted Umang also, and so many things to do, but we were running so short of time, so many things at hand, and it was almost running from one place to another, covering up the things. Then I got promoted, and I am presently occupying the chair of Joint CP Traffic in Mumbai on the first promotion itself. This Joint CP of Mumbai in itself is very challenging. I actually
Just one, sir, I will come on that point. Kindly elaborate on the most challenging case in your career so far. Most challenging case. Any celebrity when you were posted by the Thane crime, or any case which you are putting your most challenging detected.
in Sangli we actually caught a very dreaded criminal called Bapu Guru Vategaonkar. He was an ill-famed persona, and we were successful in catching that big criminal. But otherwise, there are quite a few cases. I would not be able to rate them as to which.
Just quote now, if any cases here in West Region or in Thane.
There, you might have heard of the a pedophile, a serial rapist of raping and molesting the young children. But he was predominantly operating in the Zone 9 area. So he was caught by our team in West Region. So that was quite a thrilling experience.
How do you take this opportunity in your career as a Joint Commissioner of Mumbai Traffic Police?
Joint Commissioner of Traffic Mumbai is a very responsible post, and with the elevation to Joint CP level comes more authority, but with more authority there is tremendously more responsibility, which I'm aware of, and whenever you occupy a position of that rank, you are expected to deliver and give good results and good services to the citizens of Mumbai. So traffic head wise, I would say every citizen has a stake or has an opinion on traffic, and the traffic problems in the city are increasing by the day because of the number of vehicle increase, population increasing. So all these things are actually pouring onto or increasing the traffic problems in the city with floating population and so many things. And as a leader, as an in charge to deal with such situations is definitely a very challenging task. So this post, I would say, is very challenging, and we are gearing up with our team to handle this problem.
Recently, Mumbai Police Traffic launched traffic helpline for citizens. How it will be helpful for the citizen?
Yeah, traffic helpline is one of our such initiatives wherein we are trying to give good traffic services to the people of Mumbai. See, many of the traffic problems are beyond the control of traffic police. For example, if there are thousands of vehicles plying on a single road and there is no alternative, then there is hardly much a traffic policeman is able to do. So if there is a vehicle failure, big vehicle failure, the suction pump, the vacuum is created. So many things are there where it would require definitely some amount of time to respond. So traffic helpline is basically a tool to give traffic advisories, traffic information to the citizens of Mumbai who are commuting on the roads. So we would give them information about which roads are heavy in traffic, which roads are light, which are the routes where there are some processions, some functions taking place, some events taking place. So you can avoid those routes. So these traffic advisories we are giving to the people of Mumbai. At the same time, if anybody is new to Mumbai and he wants to travel from point A to point B, that kind of route advisory is also given by us.
What is the helpline number?
It is 8454 999. So anybody can call that. Our team is always there to help you with that. Plus there are other things also, location-based notifications would be given. So a Bandra fellow can know information pertaining to Bandra only. He need not be fed or given over information about Chembur, Kolaba, other areas. So he needs to know about Bandra. So he would be given information about
There is
Bandra.
the call center you have.
So we have created a call center atmosphere wherein all these services we are trying to deliver. There is also an app regarding that.
Okay.
The app is presently available on the Android operating system, and it's called MTP Call, Mumbai Traffic Police Call.
CAAA.
CAAA Call, MTP Call. So you can download it for free from the Google Play Store, and all these things would be available on the app as well. Then you can also report an incident. If there is any traffic violation you are noticing, just take a snap, put in a few words and send it to us. We'll act on that. We'll verify the authenticity of that and then act. You can send a video as well. You can send us a WhatsApp. So all things so we have created more channels for information.
Perceptions about the Mumbai traffic island city like. What is your perception?
Yeah, traffic-wise, Mumbai is an island city and a very linear in shape. So most of the traffic is north or southbound. So morning hours you see most of the traffic going south, and evening hours you see most of the traffic going north.
Yeah.
And so that becomes quite a challenge because there is no crisscrossing of movements, but the huge volume is carried from one end of the city to other end, and vice versa. So that definitely causes a challenge, because the capacity of the roads is finite, is defined. You cannot increase beyond a point, and the volume of the vehicles is just going on increasing. 10 years ago, there were hardly 12-13 lakh vehicles in the city. Now it is 25-26 lakh vehicles. So and the road capacity has definitely not increased that much. So naturally, if more number of vehicles are plying on the same roads, and the population is also increasing, so pedestrian crossings, over the road crossings, that is also increasing abound. So these are the challenges which we are facing in the islands.
So as you said that Mumbai is a limited island city and limited area. So at the peak time traffic are worst. What is your plan to smooth functioning of the traffic in the peak hour?
See,
Is there any special plan?
traffic police has two main duties. One is the regulation of traffic, wherein we facilitate movement of the smooth flow of traffic, and the other is the enforcement part, where we enforce the law. We act on the violators of traffic laws. So we challan them, and we fine them. We collect the compounding fees from them. So during the peak hours, our focus is mainly on regulation of traffic. So we try to facilitate traffic. We first want people to reach their offices in time and reach back their homes in time in the morning and evening peak hours respectively. And in the afternoon or other off times, then we focus more on enforcement of law.
What initiatives are being taken against drunk driving and over speeding?
Yeah, drunk driving, Mumbai is probably a city where we carry out drunk driving almost every night in 34 different places across the city. So Mumbai drunk driving has created a brand in itself, and people, as we get the feedback from very many sections of society, people are really afraid of drinking and driving in Mumbai during late hours.
And speedy driving.
And overspeeding also now, with the help of MCGM, we are installing the speed guns with cameras on some gantries, across the roads on Eastern Freeway, then Bandra Worli Sea Link, Western Expressway, Eastern Expressway. So there on the Eastern Freeway, the speed guns are already installed. So
How it will work?
so anybody overspeeding will be caught on photo, and the ANP, or automatic number plate recognition system, will catch the number plate, and we will generate an electronic challan for that.
Okay. New system. According to how much Mumbaikars is disciplined about traffic rules, how you rate?
Mumbai was very well known for its traffic discipline. Unfortunately, over the last few years, there has been quite a bit of floating population and the increasing population as well, which is actually creating more pressure on the roads of Mumbai, because of which the discipline is going a little on the lower side. But our traffic team, along with Mumbai Police, are trying to step up the pressure and reverse the trend, and create a good culture of traffic discipline in the city of Mumbai.
Mumbai is one of the most populated cities in the world. So how you and your department manage such crowd in regular and festival season, or VIP visit to the island city?
Festival season is quite a challenge for traffic police, because especially because of being a very highly populated city, and people of all strata living in this city. Quite a few hawkers or the like, the temporary markets are set up during festivals. some pandals and other things are set up during festivals, because of which it causes um, some traffic commotions in certain areas. Uh, so that is definitely a challenge for Mumbai Traffic Police, which we face day in and day out.
And at the time of during the VIP visit, like
Yeah, VIP visit. Fortunately, Mumbai Police has a very good tradition of handling VIP visits very coolly and calmly, and without much disturbing the normal tempo of life, without disturbing the other normal commuters.
according to you, what challenges are Mumbai Traffic Police facing most?
The challenges are of the non-compliance of law, mainly because of a very meager compounding fee of 100 rupee for most of the traffic violations. People don't mind paying that 100 rupee, and whenever they are caught. So that's a big challenge. We need to increase, which our public representatives, our MPs and MLAs are working.
There was some
in the
plan.
Parliament and the Assembly, Legislative Assembly, also to frame stricter laws for this. We are actually waiting for the stricter laws to come.
Many
so
times
that
Minister has also announced
Yes,
that.
yes, yes. So we are actually waiting for the stricter laws to come, so that the fines and other things would be a deterrent for the traffic violator, and the enforcement would be much better, is our expectation.
What are your expectations from our Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, for smooth functioning of the traffic of the city?
I guess Honorable CM has been very kind to us. Whenever we approach him with any of our proposals, he is very patient and provide all the needful resources for the better functioning of traffic police.
What do you think after 26/11, Mumbai Police is enough to tackle the such situations again if occur in the city?
After 26/11, Mumbai Police has really geared up to face the terror challenge. Touch wood, but we should not have the calamity again. But Mumbai Police, I must assure the citizens of Mumbai, on behalf of Mumbai Police, that we are really geared up to face any such terror challenge anytime in the future.
What are your future aspirations, sir?
Our future aspirations are to give better and better services to the people of Mumbai. Especially, we are going to start very soon the electronic challan system, which will be cashless transactions on the ground. Plus, there will be variable messaging. Plus, there will be RLVD cameras, the red light violation detection cameras, which will be automated. The government of Maharashtra is already implementing 6,000 CCTV cameras across the city. So all these things, plus the speed guns on the gantries, the ANPR cameras, all these things will actually revolutionize the way we function in the coming year.
How do you spend your leisure time?
That's
Did you find
that's a
some
big
leisure time for
challenge.
you?
That's a big challenge. The only thing I do is I find some time for myself, and I go to gym for the routine workout.
Okay. Do you like any sport?
I like
Which
I like quite a few sports, but we always run short of time to enjoy.
Which sport you like?
I I used to practice karate.
Oh.
I'm black belt in karate,
Great.
and I've done a commando course from NSG. Then I like tennis and other sports also, but then I like adventure sports. I did the board surfing also in the sea. So paragliding I did, but then as you grow higher up in the hierarchy, you are really running short of time.
What suggestions or advice you want to give to new students who want to become an IPS and IAS?
I would always suggest them to work hard and dedicated to the goal. At the same time, you must have a good personality and a sensitivity towards development of the country. You must develop a secular and impartial attitude, approach, a very positive approach towards all the things in life. A positive attitude is what will change you into a good human being, and that's it. I guess, and there is no replacement for hard work. You must work hard and smart.
What message would you like to give to your department officials and to the citizens of Mumbai?
I would always appeal to my department officers and staff to be dedicated in their work, try to upgrade their skills and give good and better services to the people wherever you are. And to the citizens of Mumbai, I would always say, you follow law and help traffic police help you.
Thank you very much, sir, your precious time. God bless you.